It's winter break for us, and that means it's time for another homeschool update. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Tricia. I am homeschooling mom to 3 kids who are, let's see, a senior, an 8th grader, and a 6th grader. And yes, my hair is wet. My husband had to work overnight, and so he's napping now, and I forgot that my hairdryer was in there. So, we'll go on with it. I feel, I don't know, a little weird. No makeup, wet hair. Welcome to real life with Tricia. So, 2 other things before we get started. 1, if you're interested, I will be doing a separate video for an update for my high schooler. I've done this in the past with the other semester updates because it gets longer, and a lot of people who are not so interested in both a middle school and high school update. So that will be out in my next video. So be sure to check for it. One more thing is that this Thursday, the 23rd, I will be doing a live. I know it's right before Christmas, so I don't know what you're doing, if you're around and available, but I will be doing it live, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'd love for you to come join me. I don't know what we're talking about though, so we'll have fun. Come join us. Now, like I said, I have a 6th grader and an 8th grader. First, I'm going to do some general update, and then I will talk about each of them. So, together stuff. What's gone well? Okay, so one of the things that's been a big hit this month, for history, we paused what we were doing, and several years ago, I had put together some events that happened in the wintertime, historical events that happened in winter. So this year, I took that and I added to it and added some links and such. And so that's what we did. They read it, and then they could explore however much they wanted, depending on the topic. It's a variety of topics, some that are directly related to winter and some that are more just coincidental. But it was a lot of fun. It was something different. Depending on what their own individual interests were, they might have spent more time than the other kiddo on learning about that topic, and that was fine. Like, that's what I wanted. It was just something that was easy for them to do, independent, and they could explore on their own. I put that together on an iPad file. Well, I should say, one kid did it on the iPad, one did it on his computer. It's a PDF. So if you were interested in it, I will have a link down below. But that brings me to, they really enjoyed that. And as we were doing it, kind of had this idea that we're going to, in January, do a unit all about like history of codes and code breakers, spies, that kind of topic. So I'm going to be putting that together, and I will share with you what resources we end up using. So I'm excited for it. I think it'll be something different as far as history goes. Then, as I was making my notes for this, I wrote down that we didn't do much writing this semester, and I got to thinking about it. I'm like, wonder why. Opened up Homeschool Panda. I didn't plan it. That would be a problem. Now, we did do some writing. We did a couple activities out of here that weren't in my planner, but I just remembered to do it. And then we're also using the STEM to Story version of Don't Forget to Write. I did that. We did a lot of writing prompts this fall semester, but as far as like regular writing, yeah, I didn't plan it. So clearly we didn't do a lot of it. That's something that needs to change next semester. But we're enjoying it, or still enjoying Don't Forget to Write. I have a video about if you haven't watched my other videos already. This semester we also, 2 more things. One was that I gave the boys a lot more control over their schedules this semester. with Ben being in 8th grade, when Elizabeth was in 9th grade, I pretty much gave her complete control over her schedule. Ben, I wanted to do the same thing once he moved into 9th grade, but I knew he's going to need more scaffolding, personality-wise, than what she needed. So this semester we started, or this school year we started that. I gave him, we use Homeschool Panda for our planner. They can complete anything on there in any order they want, on any day they want, except for math. Math, well, let me put it this way. They can work on math however much they want to. But each day for each of them, I'm only available a half hour. So if they have questions outside that time, they have to wait till the next day. As far as the schedule goes, our daily schedule though, I do require that they work in the morning. So if they want to do it later in the evening, that's fine. But they both just want to get it done so they can not thinking about it. So it's that so far that's worked out well. And I only do that because, well, part of it's for me. I have the tendency to be really slow moving in the morning as far as getting going. So I need that so that we can get some stuff done. But otherwise that's fine, or whatever. And if we have together work, we always do that in the morning. But again, otherwise they have control over it. And I like that they have that freedom now with some guidance. And the other thing, together this semester, we really enjoyed our unit, Italian Riviera exploration as inspired by Pixar's Luca. We had so much fun with this activity, or this unit. We did it kind of as a morning basket, and we learned about the history of the region, some of the culture. We walked around on Google Maps, which you've never done, is a fantastic add-on for geography. We love it. It's just a lot of fun to drop the little orange man into Google Maps and walk around the area. All kinds of things that you'll learn about wherever you're walking around. We ate some gelato. We were going to make it, but we ended up going to get some instead. But we also made focaccia and pesto and watched some videos and learned Italian language. It was so much fun. If you're interested, link down below. Now, as for boys individual, Ben, who's my 8th grader, something that I've really enjoyed with him this semester is Mr. D's math. Now, with Elizabeth, when she hit algebra, I moved her to online math class. That was my plan with Ben until about July. And I realized that I just don't think he, one, would enjoy it, and two, I'm not sure he was ready to have the pressure of like deadlines and keeping up with someone else's schedule. He has done fantastic keeping with the schedule I gave him, but having that schedule imposed by an outside teacher, I worried about like if he needed more time, then he would get behind type of thing. So we put him into Mr. D's self-paced algebra, which Mr. D's also has live online classes, and we may do that for geometry next year, but for sure we'll stick with Mr. D's. But the self-pace has been fantastic for him. Each day they have a video to watch and some worksheets that they problems that they do along with it, and then after, and then they take a short little quiz, 5 questions, and they have 2 chances to complete it. And then every chapter there's a test. There's also spiral reviews. I think maybe, I don't know if there's a set. I seem to think there were 2 spiral reviews per chapter. So it's been a really, really good format. He likes the teacher, and the teaching. It's very good teaching. If you have a student who is on a rigorous course path, I'm not sure I would say this is a great choice. But if you have a student who is competent in math, but you need to outsource it, I would definitely suggest checking out Mr. D's. One more quick thing for him this has been a big hit. It's called Vocabulary Riddles from Critical Thinking Company. At the beginning of the year, he needed a lot more help than what I expected. Because these aren't easy, and learning how to do the book had a learning curve to it, but they've been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot of vocabulary with it. So each day, or let me start over. There's one page per letter of the alphabet, and then there's 2 riddles for each letter. So for O, no one oppugned when Obrius O was placed in an opulette for his odious behavior. And then the second one was Odious O obstinately obviated every onerous task. So those are the riddles. And then they have questions like which word means such and such, which word is a synonym for anonym, and then at the bottom they have to find out which riddle means the same thing as the first one. So this is a challenge. It says book for grades 4 through 8. Ben is an 8th grader and needs help, and he has a ridiculous vocabulary. So it's a challenge. I would, not saying like a 4th or 5th grader couldn't do it, but if they get frustrated quickly, you may want to wait. I will say that. But we've had a lot of fun with it. Now, our one hint is that he does questions 1 through 5, and then we check the answers, and then he does 6. Because if he misses any of 1 through 5, the 6, where he has to find a similarly phrased riddle, he's going to miss it. So he does 1 through 5, we check it, and then he does number 6. It's a lot of fun. Now, for Matthew, let's see, one of his big things is that he joined a homeschool swim team this semester. It's just started in November, and it's been really good for him. It's close by, which is helpful, and it meets in the afternoon, which is fantastic since most swim team things start are in the morning. But it's been really good for him. It's something that he can do without the other 2, which, especially as the youngest, needs. And it's just been a good physical outlet for him, and he enjoys it. So that's been a great surprise addition to our year. It kind of came together very quickly, like someone beginning of October suggested it, and then we started in the beginning of November. So it was a quick thing, but it was a good choice. For science this year, he is doing physics, and it's been a challenge with him because he loves theoretical physics, and he loves big ideas, and even if he doesn't absorb it all and doesn't understand it, he loves hearing about it. Last year, the local planetarium at the university started doing a Zoom thing every Saturday night, and it was one of the hits of 2020. And it was him and then a bunch of 30 and 40, 50-year-olds. But he gobbled it up. He learned a lot. And I think from there, he really just enjoyed that challenge of trying to understand big ideas. But try finding something for a 6th grader, curriculum-wise, like that. Not going to happen. So we've kind of bounced around with some things. I really wanted him to have a good foundation, because all of that's great, but if you don't have a foundation of what the basic things of physics are, like you need that. So we've been using Mr. Q, but I definitely think he needs more of a challenge. He's just recently added in some Great Courses Plus physics episodes, what's called now Wondrium, and he's really enjoyed that. But they're all like big ideas. Like one of them was about Einstein's, I don't remember, like just big ideas. So I think we're going to try and incorporate more of that in the spring to satiate that need of his. And then text-wise, I think I'm going to switch from Mr. Q to CPO physics. I had considered that back in the fall, but I don't know. I don't know why I really decided against it. Mr. Q's is good. It's a get it done, like here's the basic information, presented well, but it doesn't satiate that need of his to have a little more challenge. And I think CPO will be just a nice level up from it. Still build a strong foundation, but adding a little more to it. And then last thing for him I want to share was this book. It's called Language Mechanic, Tuning Up English with Logic. It's by Critical Thinking Company, and I really like this book for grammar. Next year or 8th grade, he'll start analytical grammar, but I wanted to give him something this year that he could start building a stronger foundation of grammar before we tackle that. And I really like this one because it presents things very logically. So, for example, with linking verbs, it starts off a lesson with, if you write, example, this one is, the Smiths always clean. And it gives you what readers think. They keep busy scrubbing things, like, so they're always cleaning. But what you mean is that the Smiths always look clean. So then the logic talks about, like, if you leave off that linking verb, this is what's going to happen. And this is why people will misinterpret you. So they do that throughout the book with all the different topics. Like, if you write this, but what you meant was this, here's why your error caused confusion. And then they give the rule. I think it's a really good way to challenge a kid who needs to understand grammar rather than just spitting out the rules, repeating what needs repeated. As a child, I would have been fine with, or I was fine, I should say, spitting out rules of things. But if I'd had something that really explained the why, I think that would have been a lot better for me. Now, not all kids are, like, they either don't want to know the why, like my daughter would not have wanted to know it, or that wouldn't have carried over for them. But if you have a child for whom that might be a good choice, take a look at Language Mechanic. And to go along with this, we just started Editor-in-Chief doing the app version instead of the book. Because I bought the app version for Ben a couple of years ago. Now, if you are interested in seeing an update for my daughter's senior year first semester update, click on the video on your screen. I'll see you over there.